Whosoever holds this hammer, be they worthy, shall possess the powers of Thor. Pretty judgy for a hammer, but how much of that power of Thor comes with it? Could immortality be part of the deal? We all know that Captain America's worthy. Even Thor. When Captain America added hammer toss to the list of things he's amazing at, it was a great moment. Captain America is never one to brag, but could he have packed away even more power than we saw? Is his already long life going to get even longer? Steve Rogers got a rare opportunity when it comes to superheroing. The guy got to retire. It turns out the secret is to not tell anybody about it. Telling somebody that you're about to retire or insisting that you're out of the game and only doing this one last thing pretty much guarantees that it'll be your one last thing or a whole bunch more is on the way. If only the pop culture guys Star-Lord and Spider-Man had still been around to tell Tony. Steve retired simply by stepping off the timeline while doing the post-Endgame returns and went and got that dance he missed out on with Peggy Carter. Then, deciding that dance was fantastic, he stuck around. Good choice, Cap. That means, though, that Rogers was well over 100 years old, and yet pretty spry for a guy that old. Of course, a lot of that can be attributed to clean living and the super soldier serum, but how much of that power of Thor rubbed off on Cap, and how long does it last? During the battle, we see that Cap is not only able to swing the hammer, something even the Hulk couldn't manage, but also summon it back to him and bring down the lightning powers. True to the hammer's word, he has the powers of Thor, and it doesn't have to be in his hand because just like Thor, he throws it quite often. There is one particular moment that seems to indicate that Cap just became a tad bit more than an honorary Asgardian. At one point during the final battle, Captain America ends up with Stormbreaker and Thor Mjolnir before they trade back. Why is that important? Well, it has to do with something that Thor tells the Guardians of the Galaxy when they want a Thanos-killing weapon like Stormbreaker. It looks like this is supposed to be like the actual quote from the movie, but I'll read it too. Probably should just use the line from the movie. Here we go. You simply lack the strength to wield them. Your bodies could crumble as your minds collapsed into madness. Maybe Thor can spot a super soldier, but that Drax is no featherweight, and Gamora is no slouch. What's required might not be strength, but Asgardian strength. Of course, in the comics, there have been a few worthy individuals who have managed to gain the powers of Thor. For a while at least, that power had more specifics, even for the Thunderer himself. In the early days, if he was separated from his hammer for more than a minute, he would revert back to regular human Donald Blake. Remember Thor and Loki reminiscing about the time Loki turned Thor into a frog? Naturally, that's something that Loki did, which ended up with a fragment of Mjolnir in the hands of a worthy frog we know as Throg, who was a person who is, now a frog. Yeah, comics are fun. The character that many fans have been waiting for the most has been Beta Ray Bill, the horse-faced Korbonite that was able to lift Mjolnir before being given his own weapon, Stormbreaker. In 2022, we'll get to see Thor Love and Thunder, and we'll see Jane Foster take over the powers of Thor as she has in the comics. For Jane Foster, she's able to change in and out of the mighty Thor, and when she's not the mighty Thor, she's decidedly mortal. As Jane Foster, she has breast cancer. As the mighty Thor, all toxins are eliminated, including chemotherapy, which isn't great for her cancer. How those hammer rules will play out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Thor Love and Thunder remains to be seen, but it's possible that some of those powers might linger. Since the MCU has only so far had two people worthy of Mjolnir, well, including Vision, but is he a people? Whatever. It's not yet clear how the power of Thor works. Most of the comic book alternate Thors get some version of the hammer to go with them, and that might be down to the powers of Thor being hard to wield. Even Thor himself, thousands of years in, had to get a pep talk from dear old dad in order to use his powers without Mjolnir. This could mean that the other worthy individuals might have those powers lingering and just don't know how to use them, or without the hammer to focus those powers, they wane. So at over 100 years old, Captain America looks spry for an old guy, but pretty ancient compared to the 1,000-year-old Thor. Or just as an honorary Asgardian, he's still going to age more visibly than his Asgardian counterparts. Don't let looks deceive you though. Asgardians actually grow in power as they get older. So while it might look like he's just there for the ducks, if one of those treacherous geese wants to try and start something, he'll be up for more than the task. Geese are the enemy. They're just gonna start something. All geese aside, this leaves the door open for Captain America making yet another triumphant clutch entrance. Maybe in a war. A secret war, maybe. At the very least, he might still be around for that power that he didn't get from some serums or magical hammers. He might be there to give one of his motivational speeches. I mean, he is really good at those, so I'd be there for it. Well, that's how Captain America might have been given practical immortality by wielding Mjolnir. What do you think? Do you want to see old man Rogers saving the day at the end of the next saga? Or more Throg? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you're there, prove your worthiness by subscribing to CBR for the latest videos. Thanks a lot for watching.